Hey everyone, it's Autumn. Today I wanted to do a video about the Givenchy Hydra Sparkling Magic Lip and Cheek Balm. I had to look over on the Sephora website to see the full name for it. It's on the bottom, but the words are so tiny on the bottom of this. So I was doing my makeup inventory that I posted over a month ago now, and I was going through and I was finding products that I had forgotten that I had. And I purchased this over a year ago, and it's not cheap. On the Sephora website, it's $31. And you get 5 grams of product, which isn't bad, and it's just like a little tiny balm pot. And it really reminded me when I purchased it, and I was going to do a video comparing this to the Dior Lip Glow. If you want me to do a video on that, I'd be happy to. But I got this because it really reminded me of the Dior, and there were a couple of lower end or mid-range items that were kind of dupes for the Dior, but this was in the same price range, and I really wanted to compare them. So I picked it up. Well, that kind of fell by the wayside and I never did that. So I thought that it would be a good time for me to at least do a video talking about it, since this is the time of year where I think this product would work best. So I haven't applied it to my skin yet, because I wanted you to be able to see how it applies and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to use this on my lips and my cheeks. Excuse me, my hair's still wet. I just got out of the shower. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get some on my ring finger here. And as you can see, not a whole lot of pigmentation. It's very sheer. It really is like a balm or like a gloss sort of texture. It feels more balmy, but it's very translucent. There's no like opaque sort of pigment in it. So your skin is still going to shine through when you use this. So there it is on the lips. It's supposed to take a moment to kind of mesh with the humidity of your skin, apparently is what it says. I'll read all that to you in a moment after I apply it. So we can kind of watch the color change and see what it's supposed to do. But it still has that same idea. It's supposed to change to your perfect pink, or, you know, a flattering shade for you. So now I'm just going to go ahead on the same finger, get some on there, and I'm going to dab it into the cheeks. And on the cheeks, it looks a lot more pigmented than what I initially thought it would look, which I have used this a couple of times on my cheeks because I wanted to kind of refresh my memory to show you. So I'll just kind of show you how I apply this. So looking very clownish here. And now I'm just going to get this little small e.l.f. stipple brush and just kind of stipple it around and dot it in. As you can see, it brings quite a bit of life to the skin, and it still feels kind of tacky on the skin, just like if you were to put a lip balm on your skin. It feels very lip balmy, but it's thick, and so not like especially glossy, but it's not something that that's gonna like dry down or really set. It never really does that on the skin. This is kind of like a hybrid between a blush and a moisturizer. So it's supposed to be balmy and feel very moisturizing on the skin. So now, while it kind of settles in and stuff on my skin, I'm just going to go ahead and read what the Sephora website. It says what it does. Okay, well what it is a lip and cheek balm that instinctively harmonizes with every skin tone for a customized radiant flush of color. And I think it's a pretty radiant flush of color, so I think that's fair to say. I'm not quite sure how well you can see it though with my lighting, so hopefully you can see it. If not, and I go back, I will take a picture of my face so that you can kind of see the coloring on my skin. What it does, Hydra Sparkling Magic Lip and Cheek Balm's innovative formula moisturizes and provides a flush tint to lips and cheeks. It contains pigments that react with the skin's humidity to create a personalized hint of color to the lips and a delicate glow to the cheeks. Hyaluronic acid spheres bring moisture and fill in the dehydrated lines, and by capturing water, these water-soaked spheres swell to increase the volume, thus providing a plumping action on lips and cheeks. Lips and cheeks are lipid replenished by loofah oil, which is rich in fatty acids, and the glossy cream contains a texture with a melting and softening sensation. And it says what else you need to know. The balm is fragranced with the gloss Untitled perfume. I did smell it, but it's very subtle. It's not something you're going to notice when opening. And I definitely don't notice it on my skin or my lips. So as you can see, it's pretty much sunk into the skin now, and this is what it, you know, feels like. Also, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of talk about the makeup products that I use with it, the time of year that I think it's best for, and all that stuff. So, and pretty much like the occasions that I think it's best for. So for a $31 product, it's pretty small. And the products that I feel like I have to use it with are a very sheer, either pretty much no foundation at all, or a very sheer like tinted moisturizer or BB cream that isn't super pigmented or creamy, because with this sort of glossy texture, the minute you start rubbing that over like a regular foundation, it's going to kind of, even if your foundation was set, it's going to kind of start pulling up that foundation and making like a creamy pink, because I did try it that way and that's what it did. It kind of became like a more creamy pink. It was still pretty, but if you have any sort of hyperpigmentation or acne on your cheeks, which I have a dot here and some dots over here, it actually, although it's really good for those areas because it helps to moisturize them, and moisturizing helps things to heal quicker, it does make them more evident. So it kind of clings to the drier areas of the skin and makes it more evident. So if you have any sort of dry areas, pigmentation, anything like that on the cheeks, definitely don't do that. The other thing is, it kind of defeats the purpose unless you just want the moisture to put any sort of blush or anything over it. And since it is kind of like that tacky sort of texture, a lot of your powder blushes and things like that are gonna kind of go patchy on over it if that's something that you want. So what I found kind of works best for me, and I haven't done it yet, is just taking like this translucent light reflecting powder, just like any sort of translucent powder, and I need to get a brush here. Here, this should work. And just kind of swirling a brush around in the translucent powder and then just kind of placing it over it. It helps to set it a little bit to where it lasts a little bit longer, and it doesn't make it patchy, if that makes sense. Another thing to take into consideration with this is the fact that for a $30 product, you would think that you would have like some longevity, but since this is like a lip and cheek balm, it really does last like a balm. So it's going to last on your lips like a regular lip balm, and same on the cheeks, it's going to last like a lip balm. It may last a little bit longer on the cheeks just because you're not like eating through your cheek, but the color over time does kind of fade. So that's kind of something to consider as well. So for a makeup product, I don't really think that this is that outstanding, but as like say a skincare or balm product or something just to liven up the skin, say you're feeling sick and you have to run out somewhere but you don't really have any face makeup on, anything like that, but you want to add a little bit of color to your skin, this is perfect just to pop on your lips and cheeks to kind of give you a fresh, healthy glow. And it does feel really nice on the skin as far as like moisturizing. As far as the claim of filling in lines, I don't have a ton of like deep lines in my lips, but I don't really notice that it has any sort of plumping of any sort in the lines on my lips or whatever. So that's also something, and since it's on the cheeks and not anywhere where you would have lines on your face, I don't really see that as well, but it is really moisturizing. So if you're one of those people, like say you run outside in the winter time and you kind of get like the wind burn on your cheeks, this is really good for that. Although if you have wind burn on your cheeks, you're probably going to have plenty of color, but this is really moisturizing and I think would be good for that. Nothing really from the drugstore that I would have to compare this to. The only sort of textures of products that I would kind of compare this to, or like something that's on the market that kind of has like a similar effect, would be like the Josie Maran. This is just like a little mini of what are these, like the cheek gelées. It's, again, they have that sheer consistency, kind of like a balm or a gloss, and it putting it over directly foundation, you're going to get that same sort of, it's going to make your foundation, like, I don't want to say unset, but if your foundation is set and then you put this on, then it's not going to be set, and kind of has that same creamy effect as like say this or the Josie Maran like creamy oils, kind of the same thing, and it gives, I would say it's probably closer to these because these also give like a glossy finish on the cheek as well when you use them, which again you can set them with a translucent powder like I did, where it took away a lot of the like the glossiness where it looked wet, but I still kind of have the pink there and it's not sticky on the cheek any longer. So that's something that may help you. Overall, I don't really regret buying this product because I do think that it has its uses, but this isn't something that I would run out and buy again just because I feel like it's great for the winter time because your skin's dry, you really need that nourishment. In the summertime, it's definitely not going to last. Unless in the summertime, again, you just want something moisturizing and soothing to the skin. Say you have a sunburn, which again, you're not going to really need the color. You can just use a moisturizer or a balm on the skin for that. So it's just, I don't know, it's one of those products that's nice to have but not necessary. Like you can get color from a blush or you can moisturize before putting on that blush and do it. I think it looks really natural though once you kind of get it spread out and set. I think this looks like a really natural, healthy flush. So if that's something that you would be looking for, that might be, you know, a good product for you. I don't want to like throw out age demographics for people that I think this would work best for. But I honestly feel like this would be great for like really young girls with like perfect skin anyway that just want a bright flush to the cheek, or somebody like my grandmother who she doesn't wear a lot of foundation, but she too wants that really bright flush to the cheek. So I think this is for your more natural beauties that just really care about like a bright, healthy glow and moisturized skin that are not looking for super long wear time. So overall, I enjoy the product. If you have any questions or comments about it, because I know I didn't really write down any notes or anything, I just kind of flying by the cuff here. If you have any questions or comments, leave those below. And I hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to y'all very soon. Bye!